Tell us, please, what were the main challenges in Slovakia faced during the EU integration, and how the people feel in this 20 years after integration?
So we have the time from integration is over 20 years. When we entered to the EU, it was some big step for our country and for our inhabitants and the whole country, because you know that after that in post-communist country is a very big challenge. And to evaluate this challenge after 20 years is very difficult, because the society is changing new challenges and is changing as a whole. You know, it's very different to compare us as a new EU country. We are not new, we are there 20 years, with other countries in the west part of Europe. It's very different. We are still at the end of something because we had been at the end. We started. I hopefully that I'm understandable. Yeah. What helped us as a local government, the EU integration, is that we got more self-governments for our two levels of self-governments, local and regional. You know that the regional level of local governments was created before entering into EU as one of the conditions in 2002. And new form of financing was launched in 2004 for local and regional development. So the regional level is new element in our country, is not our traditional. So, and after 20 years, we still perceive that is something which needs to be more stronger, I mean, in financing and competencies. Compared to local governments, we have own local financing, so we are stronger, but we are not so strong to be a real local self-government. You mean you have more finances owned, so you have more self-government decisions and take caring about your territory and your inhabitants. I think so that during these last 20 years there had been a lot of challenges to move ahead. I mean, in considering the competencies which we would like to execute as original, because we are executing original competencies and we executing transfer competencies from the state governments. And we have own local finances, 7 taxes and fees, and we have also share on share taxes from the tax income. State and tax income, which is sharing between us, local government, and the regional government. So, but this is not the element which says something about self-government. Very important for us is own local taxes and fees, which are still low. So it means that we are still depends on a state budget and state financing and on the overall economic in our country. So I think so that these last 20 years it was a time to move, to change, but these changes had not happened, because you know when you are going to do something very which is not friendly, it means not friendly political, you are stopped. So.
But when we are speaking about local taxes and self-government, does the majority, let's say, can work themselves with this taxes?
Yes. It's on under own competencies. We have 7 local taxes and 1 fees for waste, and it's on their competencies to say the height of these taxes. But we are limited by the law. We cannot over this level, which is saying in a law. You know that we are limited by the law. We cannot go through over this, but we can change this. We can change the rate of the tax, but you know that it's also a political decision at the local level. You are not able to change the taxes each year. you know that it's very, very. You have to be very careful because you are going against your populations in a local level, and I completely understand that state maybe if we're going to do something for our better financing, he do changes in the law which allow us to more. To create a more range, the Caesar are going this way. But it's very, very a tight line because we are also political at the local level.
But how does the situation in the villages changed after the implementing this reform, also with taxes? Does this tax play a huge role in the localities?
Yes, I understand. So what I didn't mention, and I would like to mention, is that we are a very fragmented country. We are small countries, but very fragmented. You know that we have 2,891 municipalities in Slovakia. And from this number, we have 5 million, more than 5 million population. And from this number, there is 141 cities, town. Yes. So we are very fragmented. We have 1,100 municipalities up to 500 inhabitants. But this what was created at the beginning of territorial and fiscal decentralization because it was a condition for entering into EU, etc. At this time it was fine, but after 20 years we are now at the situation that small municipalities are very poor. They have the same competencies as the big cities, as Bratislava, which has more than 500,000 inhabitants. They have almost 340 competencies at the local level. These competencies is executing by big municipalities, I mean cities in town, and by small one. We have smallest municipalities which has 6 inhabitants. So maybe this is something which has catch up at the moment of crisis, which are on the daily program in our society, in our life. It means that they are not able to hire more sources. They are dependent on the state. The state budget is limited. So maybe this is something which appeared for the last 5 and will be appearing more and more as an example on small municipalities. Maybe this is something which is, and we are now before the wall, and we have to decide it if we are going to cooperate, if we are going to merge municipalities, or if they are going to cooperate as municipalities together, as inter-municipalities cooperation. So, but we know that at the program statement of this government is that they will not merge municipalities. They say that it's up to you, local and regional level, if you will come with any proposal for modernization of local governments, or if it's up to you, it's not up to us. So, but we are now before to decide which way we are going.
And as I understood, the Reforma came with some politics, also for taxes in the budget, but not in the direct to reduce or the municipalities or villages.
No. It's a political decision, and this political decision have not happened up to now for the last 20 years. It on the table was many proposals, but we still was stopped by political decisions. To say on behalf of our association, we never came with any proposal because it's very hot topic in our membership, between our members, because we have many small members. Our members are more than 95% of all municipalities. Big cities, county towns are the member of other association. I don't know if you have met them or not, Union of Towns. Yeah. They have 24 members, but a big one. However, it's very hot topic and very it's not easy to go proactive with this topic. But what we was forced for the last 3 years, we propose to create more stronger intermunicipal cooperation, because they are able to cooperate on intermunicipal base. Our municipal law it allows them to, but it's not legal entity. It's only corporations which doesn't bring them more in finances, meaning. So they are able. What we would like to reach is to give them a legal entity. It's still intermunicipal corporations. It means that they will be evaluated for cooperation. I mean that they will get more money. You know that the aim of intermunicipal cooperation is to get more monies and then financial motivation at the end. It's working in Hungary that they are entering. Municipalities, up to 2,000 municipalities have to enter in municipal corporations, and then they will get more money, financial sources. Something happened in Poland, but there were merged municipalities. So we are going our association by the way of modernization, which bring us stronger intermunicipal cooperations. Which means that there will be small municipalities. Maybe it can be the center of these municipalities, could be cities or bigger municipalities. Will execute original and transfer competencies. They will merge their sources. They will create the quality, higher quality services for inhabitants. But we are at the beginning for the moment. It will be taking longer.
There is a studio who at the level of the country who tell that for example from all of these villages and municipalities should be less, for example the majority should be 120.
No, we don't have something like this because it's very limited for our territory. Previous governments had something on the table. They said that 20 municipalities, this number of inhabitants, and we say no. We cannot write or draw it on the table from the center in the Bratislava. We have to follow something which is natural in the regions. So we have natural microregions. We have intermunicipal cooperation, which is working in the regions, and is natural for our local governments to cooperate with all of them, and on the basis which they are, because the intermunicipal cooperations nowadays, following the law, is based on executing transfer competencies, not on original. So we are executing in a saving regime the state competencies, which doesn't bring nothing for local governments. But what we need to put the executing original competencies on this group of municipalities. And now that we are piloting a project on the stronger municipal cooperations. Name is the Center of Shared Competencies from the Plan of Recovery. In the 22 counties, this project has to create piloting 22 intermunicipal center of shared competencies. So now we are in a short time, but now this project is piloting, and it's very important for us because when it will be successful, so we know which way we are going. Another way is we have to have a political support for this.
But how do you feel?
And this, what I would like talking about this is that maybe this is the moment which we could thinking about early, because the time it reached us after maybe 15 years. Now we are 20, and we have to start it. We have to start to thinking about stronger cooperation early, because now we see that small municipalities are not able to functioning in a standard regime. They have to limit services, etc., etc.
But do you feel that the population suffer at this moment because of such big number of municipalities and majority and so on? Does the localities have not so many money or so many projects because of that?
I think so that the population are not perceiving the situation as we are talking about now here, because they have all services which they need. We are now at the stage that they are able to providing, but we are going to do to the period in which they will be not able to executing all necessary services. Maybe population perceive it by this that they are not able to put their children in the maternity school,
primary,
no primary, but before primary, kindergarten. Thank you for helping me. In the kindergarten, so they have to travel to next municipalities. So it happens in a territory. We are now facing a lot of reform, which brought us a plan of reform, consolidation in the health sector. It means that you will not have an urgent station in your municipalities, but you have to travel to next one, 30 kilometers. So now the population is have in mind that something is wrong, and it's not about us, municipalities, but it's about the development which was here and is here. And we see that these small municipalities, maybe small cities, are not able to provide services because east of the regions, you know that we have 8 regions. Prešov and Košice are very poor regions. Beside the metropolitan of city of Prešov, and the Košice is the city. So, and the people are moving to the west here, and the regions are without population there, and they would like to who stay there want to have the same quality of services in this region compared to this. Am I understandable?
Yes.
Okay.
But what about infrastructure? Does these localities have good roads, for example, or to move?
Yes, it's still problem. Local infrastructures. Maybe I don't know if the potential before 20 years was to modernize or to reconstruct all our local roads, highways, etc. Because it's very expensive from the financial sources, and we still don't have in a country the highway from the west to east. For the last 20 years, we as a country haven't been able to connect our country from west to east. So maybe. Yes, it's still a problem, and the finances at the local are still needed or requested for local transport, but we are at the period in which the EU don't want to support this in a very limited budget. So it means that maybe there is a question I'm not able to respond to you. It's only my perceiving because I'm working for this association for the last 18 years, so I have some memory from history that maybe potential wasn't used at the range as was offered, because structural fund was for our country, but maybe processes wasn't so easy. Processes were not so easy, you know, for local governments. And they, because you know that in our country our spending of sources is not at the level of 100%. So there is to maybe the message for governments to set up or to establish EU fund in an easy way to able to develop and reconstruct all what is necessary.
But what about the public functionaries, with those people who are working in the majority, for example, or for in another places? Will they have another options to work in another part, or will after implementing the Reforme? For example, if this majority wouldn't be work in this village, for example, but 20 kilometers far from the village,
yes.
The public functionaries from the majority, where will they work? Where do they work?
I don't know if I understand correctly, but you mean about the people
who are working in the majority?
Majority?
Yes. There's people who are working. If will be reduced, there's institution.
The structures will be as is now working, functioning. You mean that we have 20 municipalities. that they will work. Our reform is not merging I know what you mean, to reduce local offices and the position in the offices for the moment, but it's way which we are talking about the municipalities, and in the next 10 years maybe they will merge because it will be for them natural to cooperate. So we are not going by the way to merging municipalities. When our country will go by the way of merging, it will be political decision and will come from day to day. It's not a question of dealing consultation, it's very radical. But what we offer is that our municipalities, for example, 50, 20, 30, it's different from region to regions. If they decide it, they will have only one, they will be something legal entity which will be adjust in a law. It means adjust in law to have access to sources. There should be more something like value for cooperating, because now we don't have something like this model. And there will be each municipalities will have their mayors and local councillors, etc. This will be all persist.
Yeah, personal.
It will be everything function the way as now, but we are talking about the competencies which will they share together in a common office. Common office will be in the central municipalities, which will be the leader of this group of municipalities, and there will be office which will share competencies. They will go there for, I don't know, to solve the fees for waste, etc., for matrika services, register of inhabitants services. I mean this. So local councillors and the mayors will stay in a form as nowadays. We are not going in other way because it's very hot questions.
Yeah.
But it will be the next step.
Yeah. As we know, the Baltic republics, as Lithuania, Estonia, and Lithuania, they implement this reform much more yearly.
Yes.
Do you feel that this reform should be implemented
in our country early?
No. Should be implemented some years ago in Slovakia, or now it's the time?
We know title it the reform. We title it modernization for effective services for local communities. They will not save money, truly said finances, but by this reform we will provide quality services. We have in the east part of Slovakia when we would like to a person for public procurement. It's very difficult to find a suitable person, qualified person. So it means that we would like to, for example, public staff who will provide the public services, manage this as a position, will provide services for this group. And the cost will be shared by all municipalities. It means that there will be small saving, but what is very important is show on this that there will be more quality of services for inhabitants. Is the aim of this our reform. At the end, we would like to have a bigger share or higher share on our taxes for cooperations. And yes, to your questions. Yes, maybe it should be done early. But I think so that our country wasn't prepared for this because we are post-communistic and we are a traditional country. And we have a lot of small municipalities, and we don't have we have a lot of small municipalities because we are very fragmented. I know that in Moldova you already executed.
No, we are also at the start.
Mm-hmm. You are going merging.
Yes.
Merging. It's a political decision?
Yes, it's a political decision, but it's very hard to implement at the local level because
they are against this reform?
No, it's just made the first steps, and everybody is afraid about the reaction of the people and the election.
It's very difficult steps, I know, but I think so that it's my personal opinion. It's that it's okay or suitable to go by this process now, as then because you are living. We lived in 20 years in this fragmented form or model. and we have some welfare coming from EU, coming from the economic, because we have a good higher. The economy was increasing, and now we are at the moment when the economy is decreasing. There are many problems. We have the climate catastrophic, some challenges, and all is transferring in the local governments in increasing in their budget, in their costs. So now is a very, I think so that you are going by this way now. It's good from my personal view, I'm saying.
But does your governance prime minister, for example, support this reform?
No, because the current governments, they have their political statements for 4 years, and we are not going to propose any reform, any modernization of local governments. There is stipulated in this paper political statement, but the deputy prime minister said to our president that you have to, if you want to something in this field to reform modernization, you as a local governments have to come to me with your proposal, and with the decision on agree with other national associations of local governments. It means with us, with Union of Cities, and Association of Local Regional Governments, SK8. Maybe you met them in this day. So you understand that it's about the politics, but I don't want to. I can have my personal view. But I know that it's not easy for us. What we are going to do now as an association, we are going to speak to our members and to discuss with them why it's necessary to cooperate, why it's necessary to maybe cooperate together on a legal basis, because they are really against these steps. They want to be solo, to execute everything, to have a kindergarten, to have a library, to have a sport hall, to have exterior place for kinder, swimming pool, So, but it's not possible nowadays, because they have, as a small municipalities, they have a limited access to the EU funds. Because I don't know if you know that in this period, for the first time, we have our regional EU funds managed by the social economic partners in the region, but this all is managed at the level of regional, and they decided about 2.4 million euro is going to their project which are going from their own decisions. There is a council on the regional, so the first time we are going by regional access or local access to deciding about the EU funds. And for local governments, it means if their project will not reach the level of 2,100 EU, they are not able to submit the project. And you know that municipalities with 500 inhabitants are not able to submit the project at this amount. So they are out of EU funds. All EU funds which are available at the national level was allocated to this at the regional level for decisions. So they are very limited. They had access to the EU fund before for the last years, but nowadays changing. The system is changing, and they are out of these funds and this process. Also, we have the agriculture funds. There is agriculture funds. They had own call for proposals in a previous period. The municipalities up to 100 inhabitants, they had access to these funds. Nowadays, new proposal for agriculture politic is that this measure was cancelled. They don't have access to this small project, and they are able to reach the fund only entering in the local action groups. This model of leader approach, but there is limited sources. The local action group will be limited. So it's very difficult situation for small one. But you can resume or coming to the results. That is something which dohnat nas to catch up during the last years, that we we haven't solved it. You know, I'm understanding.
Yes.
So maybe it's good point, but it's something. I'm following my personal view, my professional view, because I'm working for this association for 18 years. Now I'm in the position of director, and it's a good point for you that it's something which is good to undertake nowadays, before as then after 20 years. I think so that it's very difficult to explain population inhabitants about this which we are talking together, because they are not perceiving this from this view. For them it's necessary to have a swimming pool, to have cut grass, to have a nice water at the square in the cities, you know, and they are not perceiving this. They don't care how these services will be provided, if in a small municipalities or by major municipalities. So perceiving, understanding in a population is very difficult. Important role in this is the role of mayors, because how the mayors will sell this information and this reform in this way will be perceived by population. So if the mayors in favors, or the group of mayors, so it's easy to sell this information to this population, and they say yes, he agreed. But if there will be mayors or local governments will be against, so it's very difficult to.
Yes,
this moment is very important.
Yeah.